All-time high for Facebook yesterday, Jim. Longest win streak, I think, at 8 since 2015. You had that story in the Journal about the company's internal teams telling management that their algorithms were socially divisive, didn't really get much traction. And then you, Jim, on Twitter this morning, seem a little bit down on just the, I don't know, is it the color of the platform? Given it's separate from what the president said about shutting social media down, it sounds like you're not really getting the value that you once saw.
Well, I actually think I like the Facebook because I think that they might be doing. Andrew's got Mark Zuckerberg tomorrow. They might be able to get this 5% fee on retail sales. This is all what they're doing for small business. At the same time, I like Facebook, but do I want Facebook to calm down? I mean, Facebook, you get this setup where you have what we used to call an island reversal, where it jumps up, then it goes down. This happened to Take-Two, by the way, last week. Take-Two, great quarter, up and then down. I want it to cool down. I mean, this announcement came out last week. It's a great announcement. But to have brokerage firm after brokerage firm, today's Citi come out, you can't keep building on a castle of sand. I see too many castles. I see a lot of quicksand underneath some moves. I wish we would just calm down and kind of just digest some of these things, because you can't have the airline move the way it is. In the casinos, you can't have the cruise ships. And, yes, there's some of FANG that's too hot. But I do feel that people are kind of it's too happy days are here again, Carl. It's just not going to work like that. Not with 38 million unemployed. 38 million? It's a lot of people.
Yeah, and you know what? And, Jim, there's, I've said this before because I continue to hear it. There are managements that are taking advantage of this opportunity to become what they would call more efficient. And it's unclear how many people are going to then not have jobs when this is at the other side.
Yes.
We saw Boeing today, of course, the layoffs there. Now, that's a unique situation in some ways, but I do believe that there is certainly a contention that can be made that employment levels will not be anywhere near what they were prior to when this pandemic began. And so, again, you start to wonder, all right, well, you got the stock market, you got the economy. Are the two completely separate? Is it going to matter that we're a consumer-led economy and we're still going to have a, 10% unemployment rate at year end? And that may be optimistic in some people's view, or is that eventually going to be reflected in stock prices, at least in certain parts of the market?
It is very clear from the AutoZone, and I happen to love that company, from the AutoZone analysis, their numbers were down 20%. And then suddenly the stimulus checks hit, and the numbers were up 20%. And that's just kind of bipolar insanity. But the fact is, when people got the money in their pockets, they did things and they were bored. Well, what happens when that money runs out? What happens in July when the extra $600 runs out for unemployment? Well, then I think you've got an economy that is searching for people, searching for jobs. I mean, I know just in the little things that I'm involved, little businesses, we couldn't hire anybody. Suddenly we can hire anybody. I mean, no, that's not sustainable maybe in other areas. And I know New York has become this kind of poster child for an economy that doesn't really know what it's doing. But, David, you were dead right. When you see this work at home, you know what that is? That cuts out a layer of people, or else they would all want everybody back. You think everyone is just good-hearted and doesn't want anyone to get sick? I think a lot of companies are saying, did you see how our expenses, how down they are? I'm reading about companies, by the way, travel. They've saved so much by not having travel that they could make their quarter from expense side. So beware. Things have changed.
That's a great point. And Carl, that is the other side of it, in that perhaps the market is already sniffing out the margin improvement that Jim is talking about from T&E being so much lower. Now, of course, that could also go, when you look at the airlines, you wonder, when will business travel really come back in a robust way? Will it ever be what it once was? But there is potentially a lot of savings, and margins conceivably will be higher, Carl, than they have been.
Well, you've got a situation where I think revenues are going to be down, but expenses are going to be down. But that's not why we pay up for stocks. It's just not.